We're here with Frank Voth. Frank, it's great seeing you, and it looks like we're having a good show. You've been here for 5 years now at the show?
Thank you. Yes, it's a pleasure. This is our 5th year exhibiting here at the NTEA show in Indianapolis. We are here representing Voth Truck Bodies. A Voth Truck Body is a custom manufacturing company that manufactures a broad variety of truck bodies. We're looking at this unit right here, which is the American landscape style body.
Right.
It's all aluminum. Our focus is to go lightweight. The industry today is focusing very strongly on going green, safety, environment, less fuel consumption. So we're focusing on building our bodies out of lighter material. We're looking at an aluminum body, 3/16 inch thick material for strengths, but lightweight. The floors are made out of 1/4 inch aluminum. It's all marine quality aluminum.
Got it.
It's an H5083 H32 aluminum. It's got the highest corrosion resistance in it for the element application for salting and liquid de-icing. It really has a lot of corrosion in it. In the carbon steel bodies, it's very harsh on them. So that's why we decided to go aluminum to fight the resistance. It's a cleaner appearance, lightweight. The average body, steel versus aluminum, is 40 to 45% lighter than a carbon steel body is.
Which enables my customer to have a much heavier payload.
Yes.
He can carry a lot more of his product in it because it's a lighter shell than steel.
That's correct. The appearance is much nicer.
Very much.
You have no rust, no paint peeling off. So that's the aluminum body, the landscape. Over here we have Ron Smith with the Kargo King. I will introduce Ron to you.
Thanks, Frank.
Sure.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Glad you're here, Ron. Tell us about the Kargo King element here.
Be glad to. We developed our Kargo King detachable roll-off system approximately 15 years ago, led by a request from a major rental company in Canada to provide some different challenges that were not out there with some competitive units.
Right.
Some of the main features that we were challenged with was low center gravity to keep the payload from affecting the smaller chassis, like in the Class 5.
Yeah.
The very first truck that they asked us to put it on actually was a 550 Ford.
That's a good start.
The trucks have changed a lot, but our very first system on that truck, we actually designed it and built it on the 550 Ford chassis.
I see.
We put a 2-part connect system on it rather than the typical hook and a ring, which brings our decks and all our bodies up very straight, doesn't allow them to pivot from side to side. One of the other main features was we do a very simplified valve system behind the cab, which makes it very easy to operate, very safe. The operator's actually running it from outside the truck, so as it's going up and down, he has visual contact at the rear. In case a curb is there or small children are playing, he loses sight of that from sometimes inside the cab.
I agree, that's great.
The other thing that makes our system very unique is most bodies on the market, whether fixed or in a roll-off concept, rest on roughly 34 inches of truck frame. And with a high center of gravity, that can cause some instability in the chassis. Our system, as you can see here, rests on 6 feet of frame, front and rear. So when we pull our bodies up and they latch on the chassis, we've almost doubled the stress on the truck and on the frame.
We were talking a little bit earlier, and you were so right about the fact that sometimes the product that's inside, let's say it's a forklift or something, it's not perfectly centered in the body, and so then it creates a lot of stress for the equipment and it makes the vehicle vulnerable to the center of gravity becomes really critical, and this really meets a lot of those.
Exactly.
It takes care of a lot of those problems.
A lot of loads when you talk in the industry, you've heard the termination water load, which is a very even load. We don't play with that scenario quite often. We're dealing with maybe 2 scissor lifts
Sure.
or a skid steer or a mini excavator that are high center gravity,
Right.
unbalanced load. So hence the way we attach and
That's
rest
how all
on the
this
truck.
comes
That's right.
into play. Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
actually have a van body line that we can detach a van body and roll it up and on. Van bodies are very high. It catches a lot of wind.
Sure.
And on the smaller chassis, if that body sits up very high, it has a real effect on the stability of the truck.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the whole idea of this kind of a system is that it really puts this truck at work more often, because you can take a load to a job site and unload take the platform off, go back to the lumber yard and get another load of lumber while that one's being unloaded, and so this truck can keep working while the people are doing the loading and unloading of the first load.
Exactly, and the cycle time it's very fast. It takes 60 seconds to put it from the chassis to the ground and back
great.
up again.
Yeah.
So we tell people that interchanging the bodies is less than 5 minutes for a complete change of chassis application. So works out very well, and it seems to be the way things are going. As chassis get more expensive, overheads are reflected very much so in the chassis, not in the body.
Right.
And so we've been able to save our customers an awful lot of money as far as insurance, safety, financing chassis. So
and then coupling it with the Voth product, which is all aluminum.
Exactly.
Creates even more synergies and more economies of scale, if you will.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass this back to Frank, and he can talk a little bit more about the different style bodies we have.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, just to elaborate a little more on the product line that Voth manufactures for the Kargo King. We manufacture a complete line of permanent mount, dumping, and detachable truck bodies. Flatbeds, van bodies like Ron mentioned, the rental decks for the industry for the detachable, lumber decks, security bodies if you have a job site where you need to drop a bin that you can securely lock.
Right.
We will build you a body that is lockable, securable, you leave it on site for nights and so on.
That's great. Yeah.
We build a complete line of the chipper bodies that you see in front of you here. Is an aluminum chipper body for the arborist industry. We build that as a permanent mount dumping, or we make it as a detachable body for the Kargo King system.
Right.
Along with this aluminum body you see over here, it's a permanent mount dumping body.
Right.
We manufacture that as well to accommodate the Kargo King detachable.
Sure.
As well as our entire product line.
Yeah.
We manufacture everything out of carbon steel, and we manufacture all our products out of aluminum as well.
That's excellent.
The main focus today is aluminum, lightweight, energy saving, longevity of the product. Like I mentioned earlier, the average chipper body, this aluminum versus steel, is 45% lighter than the steel one is, and potentially double the life of it because of the corrosion resistant material.
Yeah. And so I, as a dealer, if I want to know more about your products, I can go online to your website?
Yes, you can. If you go to the dryproductsinc.com website, we have access to the Voth website, you have access to the Kargo King, and they're all there out of one website.
Great.
We also have an addition to that where we have a work-ready site on that same website. If you're looking for a particular truck, there's a good chance we may have one in the country already upfitted, ready
that's
to
perfect.
go.
A lot of time, my customers, they need one next week. They broke one, or the engine failed, and they finally decided to replace it, but they've got to have it next week. And so that's great to have that kind of knowledge that I can find it quickly and locate it and get it to my customer. So that's great.
That is correct, because downtime costs money.
Oh, yeah.
And when you have a job to do, you have a deadline.
Right.
And that's the last thing you want to worry about.
Right.
So we have them work ready, available. We have several demos crisscrossing U.S. and Canada. We have locations from coast to coast, from Vancouver Island to Newfoundland, and we are opening up distributors in the United States.
Right.
We have currently I believe it's 8 up and running. Our focus is long-term to have a distributor in every state in the United States.
That's great. Yeah.
Right now we're focusing on the eastern seaboard. We have distributors now from Boston down into Naples, Florida, through all the different states.
Right.
They're up and running, product in stock, ready to go to business.
That's great. So you'll gradually work your way west, and in the meantime, you've got product available. If I'm in Portland right now, and if I need one, I can still get it. It's just that I don't happen to have a distributor nearby, but that doesn't matter. I can still source your products, which is great.
We can set you up with a upfit in your region,
which is great.
We could upfit you your truck that you need.
Excellent. Excellent.
And we are currently expanding our manufacturing facility. We're adding on another 60,000 square feet of fabrication space because the growth, we had a 30% growth last year from
that's
the previous
great.
year. And we're anticipating a lot more of that with the U.S. market.
Yeah,
because
I can imagine.
We love it out here.
I can imagine.
We're looking forward to a nice, healthy, long relationship, and we're being proactive at home building so we can deliver.
Get ready for it. Yeah, you bet. Well, Frank, thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time, and Ron.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate it. And we'll be seeing you the next year, and in the meantime, we'll be talking. Okay.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.